For the past month or so, this shop has had framed artwork lined up on the sidewalk under this window. And there is one piece that caught my eye every time I drove by. So I finally found the chance to stop and look. And I mean, the eye candy started through the window. This radio, I thought from the street that front was carved, but I think that's tiger eye maple, the stuff my grandma used to love. Whatever it is, it's the swirling grain of the wood that makes it look so absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if this place considers itself a thrift store or an antique store. The sign out front says quality used everything. I don't know if this place even has a name. The front is full of vintage and antiques, and it is pretty stuff. There has been stuff to drool over every time I have stopped and looked. Of course, I was hoping that they would still have that picture because I have driven past it so many times and not had time to stop and check it out. This blue sewing machine is the prettiest thing. I love vintage sewing machines, and I only have room in my life for so many of them. And I already have two blue ones, so I can't use it's blue as an excuse anymore. This chest reminds me of the hand-painted one I saw back at St. Vinny's months ago. That one's not for sale, so it can't tempt me. And I did see in someone's dollhouse that they had done a painted chest in the bedroom, so maybe I can just make myself one for my dollhouse and fill that need that way. I could start looking at all of this stuff and thinking of dollhouse ideas. Now that I see it on the film, I want to go back and look at this little white desk and see what is going on with all that graffiti. It makes me wonder where this was and how that happened. So I'm curious. It doesn't seem like the stuff in the shop turns over really fast, so maybe it'll be there on my next trip. I was distracted by the old chests and didn't even notice that hobnail milk glass lamp that we just skimmed past. So that's another reason to go back. I don't know why. I don't know what it is in my brain that makes me think that I might need income tax forms from 1952. But I kind of wanted them. And I was good and I did not buy them because there is no earthly reason in my life that I have an excuse for owning something like that. I just succumb to it's old, it's different, I've never seen it before, and I'll never see it again. This table is gorgeous, and I love these chairs with their woven seats and the painted flowers on the back slats. Just look at those. I'm glad it was sold because I would have had to talk myself out of it. There is no way that table, and those chairs go together. But I love them both for different reasons. And here's the painting, they still had it. I do not know what it is about this mason jar and fruit that makes me love it so much. And I was secretly hoping that the price would be high enough to put it out of my reach. It's a canvas panel. Somebody actually did paint this. I have. The date, I think, was something early 70s. And I don't know if it was something from a class or a book or something they set up on their own. I don't have room for it. It's big. It would take up a lot of the wall space I don't have. So even if it was only $10, I walked away, and that was hard. I'm very entertained by this little telephone table and the custom top that somebody made for it. And honestly, I was so distracted by the painting and the table that I didn't even think to dig through that trunk of old linens there. I am not going to start collecting old cookie jars, but I keep seeing cute ones that tempt me. I don't have the room. I don't have the counter space. I don't put cookies in jars. And now I'm scanning past wondering if that was an original Cabbage Patch doll somehow. I need to go back to this store. I want one. I want a white lacy bedspread or tablecloth, whatever it is. It was $159, and I know that hours of work and lots of talent went into that, but I'm just going to have to learn how to make my own. And now we're on to the second thrift store of the day, and this is gorgeous. This is my day for drooling over wood grain, apparently, because it's all so pretty. And this thing, I love that chain mechanism. I wonder if there was something else in there to make the sewing machine lift, and it's a treadle cabinet. I just love the way this thing is like a stealth treadle sewing machine. You could put it in the corner of a room and nobody who didn't know better would suspect that there was a sewing machine in there. It makes me wonder, could you take another treadle machine and put it into a cabinet like that? It's probably better for me not to think about it too hard because I already have 2 treadle machines. I don't need another one. I just don't. And here's another pretty machine. It felt like there were so many sewing machines on this afternoon, and they were so pretty. And I cannot buy Singer sewing machines. I already have 2, I think. The decals just get me every time, and I cannot buy sewing machines just because they have pretty shiny gold decals. And that one, the price was high enough to keep me in check. This one, more pretty decals. And I can't remember, I think if we scroll over, it had a neat name on it too, but not for $99. Oh, Bradbury's number 2 rotary. I have no idea what that means. It was too stiff for me to look in and see if the bobbin was still in there. I know those get stolen left and right. And the newer machines, that Viking looks an awful lot like the one that my grandma left me and the one that I first learned to sew on. So I don't need that because I have one just like it at home. Someday I'm going to look through these foot pedals and see if I can figure out if one of them would work with my pesky Janome because my foot pedal is not doing what it should. And they had another tablecloth. How was I not looking more closely at that tablecloth? I mean, I stopped and I filmed it, but it didn't cross my mind apparently that I could take it home and this could maybe be the tablecloth I have been wanting. $12.99, it's a heck of a lot better than the one at the last store. I don't think this one was quite as intricate, but I hate to see these in thrift stores. Better thrift stores than a dumpster, I guess. And this sewing machine table just had such a mid-century modern feel to it. I love mid-century modern. I don't particularly want it in my 100-year-old farmhouse, but I definitely admire the shapes and like looking at it. And someday I'm going to have to figure out how you determine whether your existing sewing machines will fit into a particular cabinet. I checked to see if they still had that hobnail milk glass vase that I didn't buy last time, and they didn't have that one, but they did have this one. And I talked myself out of it because I don't need a milk glass flower vase. I think I'm gonna wait and see if there's a different one out there that calls my name strongly now that I know how much the hobnail glass is calling my name. What do you think? Anything here that would have tempted you into bringing it home? That painting was out on the sidewalk again today, a week later, so I am resisting temptation hard. Thanks for watching. I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle. I'll be back with you again soon.